This is another advert that's coming up, so I'll try and keep my shoulder in there for this stuff. And I thought it's worth talking you through what it is. It's one of two things. It says it contains beeswax and whatever. It probably does. I don't think it will contain very much. Now, it's either just a floor wash that contains a little bit of beeswax. It won't look like that. That's wet. The reason that's so shiny is that's wet. It won't look like that when it dries. Or it's one that will look similar to that when it dries. And I think this is probably one of those acrylic shells, because I can see ridges in it, which says it might be a little bit thicker, and those speckles dictate. They are sold as floor waxes, but they're not waxes, although they might have a minuscule trace of wax in. What they are is an acrylic shell. So it's a liquid that you put on and then it dries to leave a shine. It's like an acrylic thing. Halfway through drying, they're quite sticky. So obviously your floor can be spotlessly clean, but while it's drying, it can attract dust that falls on it, and then you've got dust in there. I would strongly suggest you don't use those, because they don't soak into the flooring at all. They sit like a shell on top. And where you walk, you will wear them off. But on the edges, near things like cabinets or around the edges of doors, where feet never go, they won't wear off. And they're fiendishly difficult to get off. They always say things like, oh, just use a little bit of detergent. And I bloody don't. I've been ending up using neat ammonia and a scrubbing brush to get the stuff off. It's a swine to get off. And obviously you have to get it all the way off before you can put more on, because if you put more on, you can't feather it in and it just ends up looking claggy and lumpy and, quite frankly, really murky. I mean, I'm sure you can see on here lots of examples of that. If you want your floor to have a sheen, you cannot beat proper wax. The reason that proper wax is a good idea is, instead of flaking off and all the rest of it, it wears away, and if you need to, you can just re-wax a worn bit and feather it in so it looks okay. And if you want to get it off, real wax is not that difficult to get off. You'd need something like traffic wax, and it doesn't produce this mirror, glass gleam. It's a soft, gentle sheen. But yeah, I think anything like that, give it time, you're going to be so disappointed.